The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another CW webinar. We're very pleased to have you to discuss our 2024 update of the Global White Cement Report. Next slide, please. Just to give you a brief update about today's presenters, my name is Prashant Singh. I'm a director at CW Group, and I have my colleague, Mr. Lucas Pimenta, who is a junior business analyst, and he was the main uh, analyst working on this report. And together, me and him will walk you through the main highlights of this report. So it's a very short and clear agenda. We will present a description about our company, CW Group. We'll give you some highlights about the report and what it contains. And then we will jump right into sort of the actual highlights from the report in terms of where we expect the market to be and where it's going to be going over the next 5 years until 2029. So just in case you all have been part of previous webinars, I apologize. I'll try to keep this brief. For those who haven't, just a short description about CW Group. So CW Group is actually present across 3 different verticals. We work with global consultancies and leading institutions, including the World Bank. We provide consulting and advisory expertise on a diverse portfolio of industries. For example, one of the recent samples of our advisory projects included a complete business process analysis for an online art gallery. We've done a detailed feasibility study for a Middle Eastern petrochemical company for the manufacture of a specific chemical compound. And we've just recently completed an advisory on for a defense contractor looking to enter into secondary explosives manufacturing. So as you can see, we have a very diverse list of products that we consult on. Under the research umbrella, CW focuses on cement demand globally, as well as detailed industry / country reports. We provide historical as well as forecasts for markets in a variety of products, including one of our main products, such as the VFR, which is the volume forecast report, the trade prices report, and annually we update the report that we're here to discuss today, which is the white cement report. In addition, we also provide commodity price assessments for cement, clinker, as well as petcoke and coal. Within the last but not least final media umbrella, you have access to our vast online database. You can subscribe to newsletters for a variety of topics. And we also have industry-specific meetings, of which the next one is scheduled in Johannesburg, South Africa, which is the CBI event, Cement Business Industry. And we'd be happy to share more details should you wish to attend or sponsor that event. So without more further ado, we can move to the next slide. So what is the Global White Cement Trade Report contain? So we examine the worldwide consumption, production, trade trends over the past 5 years, and we look at and analyze and forecast where we expect the market to be over the next 5 years, and in this case, in 2029. We look at extensive information on consumption, capacity, local and regional prices, and this is done through a lot of primary and secondary research that goes on throughout the course of the year to make this product what it is. You can find the details for this product uh, here. This latest version was released just a month ago in May of 2024. So, as we go into any report, we always try to present a macroeconomic picture and give you an understanding of what is happening in the world and how this could impact global trade, um, not just for cement, but actually for all across industries. So, as you've seen in its April 2024 update, uh, in its April 2024 update, the IMF has basically said that they expect global economic growth in 2023, 24, and 25 to remain at around 3.2% per year, sort of stabilizing despite the ongoing conflicts in Russia and Ukraine and Israel and Palestine. Uh, the inflation, global inflation is expected to continue on its downward trajectory from around 6.8% in 2023 to close to 6% this year, and then further decrease to around 4.5% by 2025. Um, Advanced economies are expected to see them reaching their inflation goals a little bit sooner than emerging market economies, and therefore you are likely to see advanced economy uh, central banks, including the United States and European Union, sort of start to cut interest rates faster than you will see that happening in the emerging economies in Asia and elsewhere. Now, the actual view from the investment banking community. For example, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is slightly less positive than the world IMF, and they expect growth to be around 2.9% this year. They expect advanced economies to have steady growth, but emerging markets in various regions to face continued challenges. Uh, like the IMF, they expect inflation rates to decline in Western economies and advanced economies. But unlike the IMF expectation, they expect that the central banks will not cut interest rates to make sure that inflation is effectively addressed for a longer period of time. The US economy is expected to continue growing at a moderate pace. It's been resilient in terms of its consumer spending, but as we see the labor market starting to sort of tamp down, we should see the growth rate slowly declining as we move into the second half of this year. And contributing to that fact is also, of course, economic policy paralysis as we move closer to the US election in November. Last but not least, China has been facing a major restructuring in its economy. And as the world's second largest economy, uh, it has been a major global engine for a significant period of time until sort of the brakes hit by the pandemic. Now, China has not emerged from that unscathed. Their real estate sector, which accounts to close to 30% of their GDP, is in significant financial trouble. And despite sort of concerted effort from the government, that has still not been resolved effectively. Uh, in addition, we see a significant transformation of China from an industrial powerhouse to a service economy, and a lot of factories that were made China an integral part of the global supply chain are sort of now shifting to other countries in Asia, including Vietnam, Philippines, Thailand, and in some cases India. So this is all having sort of presenting a much more bigger challenge for the Chinese government to grow organically away from how they have been doing things. So at this point on, I will now introduce my colleague Lucas. He will be taking you to the main highlights of the report and giving you insights as to what we have sort of uncovered in our research for this report. So go ahead, Lucas.
Thank you, Prashant. I'm going to now jump into the report itself, and I will provide some insights on the current market situation. But of course, the report includes a much more detailed analysis of what is happening and what to expect in the next 5 years for the white cement market. In terms of white cement capacity, the next 5 years are expected to see an addition of 0.6 million tons, with Asia ex China again being the region with the most capacity additions in the period. Total white cement capacity is estimated to reach almost 30 million tons in 2029, sorry, with China accounting for more than a fifth of the total capacity, followed by the Middle East with an estimated 18% share by 2029. Asia ex China and Eastern Europe together account for close to a third of the global production capacity. And capacity expansions in Asia ex China are led by India, and with Ototek and JK Cement growing their total capacity by almost 400,000 tons in 2024 year on year. Unlike the previous 5 years until 2024, there are expected to be limited capacity additions till 29, with a focus on improving utilization rates. Asia ex China and North America are the only two regions with expected capacity additions until 2029, with those additions majorly happening in India and the US. With the global utilization rate averaging over 55%, China has the highest at almost 68%. On the other hand, Eastern Europe, Africa, and the Middle East show utilization rates below 50%, highlighting the significant opportunities to improve their existing plant production and return on investment. Global capacity has been negatively impacted not only by the pandemic, but also due to the escalating energy and raw material prices caused by the Russian-Ukraine conflict. Global white cement consumption witnessed strong growth until 2024 and is expected to boost until 2029. Consumption growth over the forecast period is expected to exceed the 3% growth between 19 and 24 of global economic recovery. Globally, white cement consumption grew at a 3% CAGR during the period of 2019 and 2024. And over the forecasted period, this growth is expected to exceed 3.5%, reaching around 25 million tons by 2029. The biggest consumption growth rates are expected to happen in Asia ex China and Africa at CAGRs of over 5%. And the slowest growing region will be Western Europe, for a CAGR of less than 2% for the forecasted period. Global white cement per capita consumption is stable at an estimated 2.6 kilos per person, and Eastern Europe had the highest CAGR at over 4%. Although the global average of per capita consumption is around 2.6 kilos per person, We have an spectrum for regions hovering for almost 13 kilos per person in the Middle East and around 1 kilo per person in Africa. Asia China shows great consumption growth, but with such a population, per capita consumption reaches only above 1.4 kilos per person. Fastest growing region for the forecast period is expected to be Eastern Europe, at a CAGR of over 4%. By 2029, global per capita consumption is forecasted to reach almost 3 kilos per person. Turning to global white cement trade, in last year, 2023, Europe as a whole dominates exports of white cement globally with around 58% of the trade, estimated around 6 million tons. Eastern Europe was the largest exporter of 2023, with almost 2 million tons traded, mostly internally and with North America. North America being the biggest importer of the product with a volume of almost 1.5 million tons in 2023. Eastern Europe traded internally more than 0.5 million tons, and almost 70% of white cement exported from Asia ex China are destined to countries within the region, as most production is concentrated in selected countries. Western Europe is the second largest exporter globally, also trading mostly among itself. And in 2023, the region imported over 1.3 million tons of white cement. Cementir Holding, JK Cement, and Simsa represent close to a quarter of the global white cement capacity. Cementir Holding, JK, and Simsa are the largest ones to produce globally, accounting for an estimated 24% of the total white cement capacity in 2024. Cementir's biggest plant is in Egypt with a capacity of 1.1 million tons per year. JK Cement is estimated to be the second largest white cement producer in the world. And the two biggest white cement plants in terms of capacity are located in India and the United Arab Emirates. Simsa has established itself as the third largest white cement producer in the world, with the two biggest capacity plants located in Turkey and Spain. The Simsa plant in Spain, named Buñol, was acquired in 2019 from Cemex and has the capacity of 0.7 million tons per year. Now I'm going to leave you with the closing remarks of our report. And please note that we focused only on the highlights of this update, and more detailed information you can find available in our report. Please don't hesitate to contact us so we can help you. Global white cement consumption continued to grow despite the pandemic and the Russian-Ukraine conflict. And we can see that minimal capacity additions for forecast period leading to higher utilization rates. Cementir Holdings, JK Cement, and Simsa are estimated to account for almost a quarter of the global white cement capacity. Eastern Europe and CIS is set to remain the largest exporter, and North America the largest importer over the forecasted period. Global demand is expected to recover to a CAGR of 3.6 in 2029, reflecting sustained growth in Asia, ex-China, Africa, and Eastern Europe. To finalize, I'd like to thank you for your time and attention, and see you in our next webinar.